Oh,
Tu peux plus dire de bêtises, Robert, tu as enregistré.
oui, ben écoutez, je vais finalement arrêter de parler, quoi.
Vous surveillez ce que vous êtes.
Oui, OK.
Si. On peut dire ce qu'on veut, Jordi. You have the role, so you can make the PowerPoint on.
Vous attendez combien de
Qui se montre en
personnes?
français.
Vous attendez combien de personnes?
On devrait être entre 15 et 20, je pense, hein, Manfred?
Ouais.
So,
When you will allow me.
Est-ce qu'on est prêt à commencer, Maxime, tu penses?
Oui, tu peux présenter notre invité de la soirée, Bruno, s'il te plaît. Tu es bien gentil de faire ça pour moi.
Donc, juste de trouver le bon équilibre. Là. Moi, il n'y a pas de problème à attendre encore une dizaine de minutes. Mes enfants sont ailleurs.
Est-ce que tout le monde a eu les rhums? Tous les rhums
Oui.
se sont rendus?
Oui. Oui.
Quelqu'un qui en a deux? Bruno se posait la question. Non?
J'espère que tout le monde est bien pratiqué son espagnol. Là, comme on peut le voir, la présentation va être en espagnol.
Vraiment?
Ça va être en anglais.
OK.
Jungla, maybe no function.
When you will be ready, just give me okay and
Yes. We'll wait a bit more. It's hard time for those with young children, so we give them a few minutes more. But if you, unless you're on a rush, we'll maybe wait a few minutes to have a bit more participants.
sure.
Une carte gauche, s'il vous plaît. C'est à voir, ok.
Alors, il ne semble pas avoir beaucoup de monde qui se rajoute. Je comprends qu'il nous manque peut-être quelques participants, là, mais par respect pour ceux qui qui sont déjà là. On va peut-être commencer tranquillement. Comme disait Maxime, de toute façon, on a l'enregistrement de la séance. Là, donc, ceux qui arrivent un petit peu plus tard pourront rattraper par la suite. Là. Donc, les habitués constateront que je ne suis pas PO. Je vais tâcher de faire aussi bien que lui, mais il devrait se joindre à nous un peu plus tard, mais lui aussi avait des contraintes là, personnelles. Donc, le mode de fonctionnement, ça va être la même chose que d'habitude. On va demander de mettre vos questions dans le chat, puis on va les relayer là, à Jordi au fur et à mesure. Et il vous invite à poser vos questions, ne pas vous gêner, faire des commentaires sur les stations de Rhums. Il est très ouvert à tous les commentaires. Et c'est une compagnie familiale, donc c'est sûr qu'ils aiment bien avoir le feedback sur leurs produits pour essayer de faire des améliorations, faire des changements, donc vous ne vous gênez pas. Aujourd'hui, on a un représentant de Beverland Distiller. Ce n'est pas un producteur qui est très représenté à la SAQ. Là. Il y a un produit qu'on avait en succursale qui est le Relicario. Par contre, c'est un catalogue assez extensif, non seulement de rhum, mais aussi d'autres spiritueux. C'est une compagnie qui est basée en Espagne avec aussi, là, je pense, une succursale ou en tout cas une filiale qui est en République dominicaine. Et Jordi est le représentant pour l'Amérique du Nord, donc Canada, États-Unis, et basé à Miami. Donc, il nous fait l'honneur d'être là aujourd'hui. Ces rhums-là sont représentés par l'importation BMT, là, qui ont déjà participé à d'autres dégustations avec nous là, pour d'autres familles de produits, là, donc des gens qui sont toujours bien disponibles là, pour nous faire connaître et découvrir, élargir notre horizon du rhum. So, Jordi, thanks to be there. So, I will let you for the rest of the presentation. So, as I said to everybody, they will ask the question mostly in French, I guess, but maybe in English in the chat room, and I will relay them to you when we have some. So that's fine for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I understand more or less because as I told you, I studied when I was a kid. But yeah, it will be great to avoid any misunderstanding from my side.
With my little English and your little French, we will be fine.
Perfect. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Max and Bruno, and also Manfred, to allow me to be here with you and allow me to present our brands. I will do a quick company presentation. Just to understand who we are. Bebelan it's a family business that was created in 1994. We are located in the north of Spain in a city called Olot, but most of the people don't know where is Olot. But we are 1.5 hours far from Barcelona. So we are close to the border with France. Nowadays, Bebelan is exporting to more than 65 countries, and we own our brands. So just to give you a raw idea, our 90% of our business it's from our own brands, and we produce some private labels for some Spanish retailers. As said, we have some facilities around the world, but our headquarters are, as said, in the north of Spain. And then we have some commercial offices in Barcelona, in Lisbon, in Cuba, also in San Pedro Macorís, it's in Dominican Republic, where we have our cellar also. And well, I put Miami is because where I'm based, but yeah. To make a quick review from who we are, who I am. Since 2013, I'm the Global Marketing Director for Bebelan. So I'm in charge for all the marketing and brand strategy, and part of the team who manage all the launchment from the beginning, from the cocktail, from the liquid recite until the launchment. And since 2.5 years, I'm in charge also for North America markets. To start, I want to make a quick review just to catch the idea from all the products that we have and put in different types of room that exist in the world. As you know, it exists 3 types in general terms, 3 types of room. So the rooms of Hispanic origin, rooms of French origin, or call it in other words, agricole rooms, and rooms of British origin. As you know, British origin rooms are, let's say, a mix or blend between French and Hispanic type of rooms. So we will go through these types of room, mainly Hispanic and British, and of course, main brands are Hispanic types. To give a raw idea from different typologies, the Hispanic rooms, most of them uses molasses, but at the same time sugarcane juice. Most of them are light, so uses the Solera system. For the French or agricole rooms, uses just sugarcane juice and are more fruity and more floral bouquet. And the British, I said, it's a mix of Hispanic and French typologies of rum, and they are more known for these full-bodied rums. If we go through the main differences between Hispanic and French or agricole rums, you will see why I'm trying to give this general idea, because it will help us to understand our brands in the next coming slides. So in terms of raw material, the main raw it's of course sugarcane juice and molasses. Sugarcane juice is, as I said, the first liquid after the pressing of sugarcane, and molasses it's the derivate once the sugar companies uses this to make sugar. So as you know, the liquid that you achieve from this process, it's quite different. It doesn't mean that rum that it's made with molasses it's better than the sugarcane rum, but that gives different type of profiles. Concerning the fermentation, normally there are big differences because all the distillers uses industrial yeast, but that's part of the process that has to be taken into account. Where it appears the main difference between these Hispanic and French or agricole rums, it's during the distillation. So it's, let's say, the war between pot still versus column distillation, mainly because if you distill with pot still, it appears the presence of heavy rooms, because during the distillation the alcohol reach a range between 70 and 75%, and with column you can achieve a percentage of alcohol around 90-95. So this is where it appears the presence of heavy rooms. So it will give a very different organoleptic profile, not only in aroma, also in organoleptic taste. And then, of course, the last stage is the aging. There are some different types, of course, Solera, and so you will know that Solera is a typical pyramid system, and the static aging, that it's more common in the French and agricole rums. Then it appears different types of terms like EVCOP, XXO, Vieux, etc. So this will allow us to understand our brands and where we put our brands in the different types of room and different production processes. I will start with our most strategic brand. It's distilled and aged in Dominican Republic, where we have some facilities. We have a cellar there in San Pedro Macorís. So the brand is called Relicario. We launched the brand in 2011, where we started to launch Relicario Superior. Nowadays, since then, the range have evolved quite a lot. So nowadays we have a range of 4 SKUs. So we have the Relicario Superior, then the Supremo that we will talk about. Then we have the peated finish and vermouth finish. So it's quite unique thanks to this square bottle that, as you will know, it's not very common in the room industry. So as said, our legend began in San Pedro Macorís, is where we have our cellar and where we age our rooms. To give you a general idea about what is Relicario, Relicario is the result of a combination of Dominican rooms aged statically, not Solera. So this is a very important point. Rooms between 5 and 15 years. So as said, this is an static aging, not Solera. I repeat this because the Hispanic rooms, most of them, 80–85% of these rooms are Solera. Some of them, they put a number into the bottle, etc. But it doesn't mean that is a static room agent. So concerning the production process, what we use is a native sugarcane juice. So we use caña criolla. It's the most common sugarcane in Dominican Republic, and we do a fermentation around 30 hours with the yeast. Said we use industrial yeast like all the rum distillers. And this process is carried out with Alcoholes Finos Dominicano. It's one of the main distillers in Dominican Republic. And we, during the distillation, we reach an alcohol content between 85–95%. So we use a column distillation system. And then we do the static aging and blending in our facilities using American white oak ex-bourbon barrels. These barrels are 220 liters. And as I said, we age in our facilities. So thanks to the humidity and temperatures of this area, give this magical touch to the product. So as a summary, we use sugarcane juice, not molasses. Then we do the distillation through a columns system, and then we use American white oak ex-bourbon barrels for the last stage. So here are some pictures from our facilities. Nowadays we have 3,200 barrels in our warehouse, and well, increasing every year thanks to our need to have more liquid. Just to give you a quick comparative between Relicario and Rhums Relicario, I always compare with the Rhums Relicario because we have some raw. We use the same raw material because we use sugarcane juice like the Rhums Relicario, but then we follow the Hispanic likes rum system. So we use the 100% of the Dominican fresh sugarcane juice, and we distill in columns, and we reach, or the alcohol rises to 95%. So you will not find in Relicario these heavy rums that appears in in the most of the vehicle rooms that are in the market. It doesn't mean that one room is better than the other one. Always, in the wall, as our room master distiller says, every person have their own palate, so every person have their own preferences in terms of room. But I like to use this slide to give a raw idea that we try to catch the best process from the different rooms or types of room to have our Relicario room. So as said, we use a blend of static aged rooms. The Relicario Superior, it's a blend of 5 and 10 years, so 50-50, and we do a coupage. As said, 10% of the walls rooms are produced from sugarcane juice. So we catch the best of each types of room and trying to have the best product as possible, following the Hispanic light system. As said, this is the Relicario Superior. This is the youngest brother of the family. But if we go through the Relicario Supremo, this is a blended of 10 and 15 years, static, not Solera. And what we do is to do a final coupage, a final finish in our facilities during 6 months using Jim Beam group selected bourbon barrels. So the brand that we use is Maker's Mark, bourbon brand. So it's, let's say, one of the most premium bourbon barrels, bourbon brands in the Jim Beam group. So we do this coupage to do stabilization using this two type of the static rules. As a reminder, this is a blended between 10 and 15 years, and then we achieve the Relicario. So to go through the tasting note, as you will have the rooms, we try to do something visual because, yeah, sometimes when you read the tasting note, it appears a lot of words, but I want to enhance some specific words or organoleptic profiles that you will find in your room. You will find, of course, oaky and a smoky touch, thanks to the barrel. But what is most common, or what you will find better, is this dried grapes and prunes aroma touch. Our idea in terms of room developments is to launch smooth rums that allows to the main general public to drink rum. So as you will see when you taste it, and after when you drink it, the sensation of swallowing. So you will find a very elegant, easy to drink, very smooth, and quite well balanced. So this is our goal. And as said, you will find these woody and nutty touches, a little bit of spicy touches like clove, but the main market profile will come from these dried grapes and prunes. Feel free to add anything if you have any feedback. So as I was talking to Max and Bruno, all the feedbacks are welcome. It helps us to improve our products, to work in our profiles. So feel free. So I want to do this virtual brand presentation very dynamic, so feel free.
I will go first.
Yeah.
It's very interesting for a Spanish type of rum. It's much drier than what we see elsewhere, and the oaky taste is much more in front than in most product we use here. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's true that you mentioned this dry touch. I have to say that we don't add sugar. That's true that it's very common in the rum industry. That's true that the rum law changed 1.5 years, I think, ago, and they put a max or a limitation in terms of added sugars. I think that now it's 40 grams per liter to be a rum. If you are over these 40 grams, you will be a spirit drink. But I said, we don't add sugars in Relicario. So I said, being an Hispanic rum, comparing to a lot of rum brands that are more sweety, of course, they are very good brands. But what we tried is to have a rum, the most authentic rum that you can achieve from the sugarcane, using the column system, distillation system, and age as we do. So yeah, that's why you will find drier than the most sweety and Hispanic. I don't know if anyone have other comments, so if not, I will go through the next slides. So then, if we continue, we will be able to talk about the Relicario pitted finish. So yeah, that's something surprising. So this is a finished rum because what we tried is to launch something unique, some different types of rums, and we thought that we achieved it with a pitted finish. What we do to make easy to understand, we catch the Relicario Superior rum base. So this is a blended of 5 and 10 years static aging, and we do a final finish during 6 months in American oak barrels that contain whiskey pitted. So as you will know, whiskey pitted, it's famous due to this smokiness and this pitted touch that the whiskey catch it from the whiskey process. So what we do is to use these barrels from the renowned area of the Speyside, where we age our whiskey also, and we catch these barrels and we leave it there during 6 months. So just to make a quick explanation about what is peat. Peat is 1,000 of years of decaying vegetation. So when the peat is harvested, they prepare a kind of slices and they stack it in pyramids and left to dry. So then they use this as a substance during the smoke process to barley grain. So the barley grain is exposed to this smoke and gives this smoky touch that you will find in the blended malts, single malts, and pitted malt whiskeys. So they use a type of classification to see what is, if you have different whiskeys, what is more pitted or less pitted. So they use the ppm or phenol parts per million to give a kind of ranking between the different whiskey peated malts. Of course, the peat varies by region and can give a lot of organoleptic and aromas to these whiskeys, and of course to the barrels. So it can give this smoky, herbal, creamy, some citrus if it's close to the sea, and as I said, they use this ppm, so phenol parts per million, to classify the different whiskeys, peated whiskeys. So when we developed this product, we were talking with the laboratory and the A&D department, and we want to compare it to the peated malt whiskeys and see where we are from these aged whiskeys. So we did a study, and we can say that we have 2 ppm. It can be not so much, that's true, but we only leave our room 6 months, and we are comparing to whiskeys aged 10, 12, 15 years. So for just leaving these 6 months, it gives a very aroma touch to this to our Rhums Relicario base. That's true that it's easier to find in nose, not into the palate. But that's funny when we do these physical presentations, we do a blind tasting, and we leave 4 bottles, and we put Relicario Superior, peated finish, and 2 single malts. And I can certify that 3 of 4 people, they don't know where is Relicario peated. So that's funny to know that just leaving 6 months into the barrels gives this peated touch to our Relicario room. If we go through our organoleptic wheel, of course you will find of sugarcane juice, of course, because this is the raw, the liquid. But you will find these hints of smoky, of peat. So it's a quite well balanced between the sugarcane room and these aging months that we leave the liquid inside. Of course, when you drink, when you drink, and when the sensation of swallowing, when you taste it, you will find this robust and long-lasting and persistent into the mouth. But you will find also these light, smoky touches, thanks to these 6 months into the barrels. So I think it's a very different product. It allows us to catch new room drinkers from different other categories, and it's something new from the room connoisseurs to discover a new product that it's, let's say, not common in the room industry.
Any chance you can tell us from which distillery the Speyside is, or it's a secret?
Well,
sometime I know it.
We are transparent. It's Angus Dundee. Angus Dundee. It's Angus Dundee. They have two plants, distillation plants. One in Speyside, where they produce the single malts, and also they have another distillation plant in the mid of Scotland. But where we catch these barrels is from the Speyside, from the Highlands area.
So I'm the peated whiskey aficionado in the club. So I really appreciate this type of experimentation with rum. I think it adds something that's very different. It's it's still subtle. It's not overwhelming, but I really consider that it's bring the rum somewhere else, and it's very well balanced. It's very smooth. It's often we see those kind of product with British rum or agricole rum, so usually more full-bodied.
Yeah.
But this one is very smooth, very easy to drink, but with the small peated notes, which is very interesting. I like it.
That's true. That's true that during the process, when we did different tastings during the first month, second month, third month, and we saw that during the third and fourth month is where the liquid reached the most smoky touch. Then during the 5 and 6 and 7, they started to go down, and it's where it appears this well-balanced profile, because during the first months the bottle gives a lot, but then they become very stable to the liquid, and then they don't give more to the liquid. So that's why we try to keep the essence of rum, of Relicario, well balanced, smooth, easy to drink, but with this slightly touch of peated, as you said, to allow these aficionados, as you said, to drink and taste something new. But of course, the room drinkers to taste and drink something new. We do our best, and we thought that we achieve it. With this,
That's the kind of product I use to convince Scotch lovers that rum it's a premium drink. So I love those.
That's true that with this product, it's, let's say, a very niche product, because not all the people likes the smoky touch. There are a lot of people that drinks whiskey, but just blended whiskeys, and they are not, they don't like these malt and peated malt touches. So we know that maybe it's more niche than other rums, or our let's say standard rums like Supremo and Superior. But what we tried is to have something new, something different, because we can age 15, 12, 20 years, but there are a lot of brands, great brands, with a lot of aging. But what we tried as a family company is to launch something unique, and go to this niche that are looking for rooms, different profiles, etc.
And you consider this product, the main use is to drink neat or to mix neat?
Of course, you can prepare an old-fashioned cocktail, but we recommend to drink neat with some ice, but on the rocks. But I think it's enough. Some customers or some bartenders put some grains or some grapes or something like coffee, but I think it's enough to drink neat. So you will be able to find this smoky, and if you want to mix, you can use Relicario Superior. You can prepare a cocktail with a Relicario Superior, but it's better to drink neat and enjoy it as it is.
Renee is saying in the chat that it's interesting that the smell is more smoky than the taste. So
definitely.
It helps to keep the rum essence. So
of course, because it's just 6 months. So we don't use the peated whiskeys, this smoky comes from when they use this the peat to smoke the grain. So they catch it all the essence during this process. We don't use this or we don't go through this production process. We just catch these barrels that contained peated malt whiskey during 10 years, and we try to keep the essence of these barrels comes to the room. But yeah, as René said, it's more present in aroma than in taste.
Pierre Olivier is just coming with us, and he remarked that I've done a poor job of translating for the people, so maybe he can translate a bit in French to be sure that everyone understood all you say, which is very interesting.
At the end of the presentation, I will be able to send you the English presentation. We have also the French presentation, so you will be able to share. So I think that will be...
Hi, Jordi. Hi, Jordi. Yeah. Je voulais savoir, donc, tout le monde, est-ce que vous êtes à l'aise avec l'anglais? Parce que sinon, je vais traduire au fur et à mesure. Si vous dites que vous êtes tous à l'aise, je ne traduirai pas au fur et à mesure. Donc, soyez bien à l'aise. S'il y a une personne qui veut, il n'y a pas de problème, on va le faire. Donc, je voulais vraiment avoir votre opinion, là.
I will need a translation, sorry.
He just said what I said, that you can translate for people if they wish, but it seems that most people are okay with your English, so...
Oh, thank you. It's not the purest English because I come from Spain, but I think it's easy to understand me. Perfect. If you are okay, we will go through the next slide. So just a quick review with the last launchman. It's our vermouth finish. So what we did is the same process as the peated, but using vermouth barrels, but not a common vermouth. So we used an aged vermouth from the Renaud area, Asti, the Asti area in Italy. So it's a brand called Mancino. So they have a Mancino Vecchio, aged vermouth. So we use the same process as we do with a peated finish. And here, this is the family where every year we present the product to the main spirits competition, like San Francisco, like the Brussels spirits competition, some international Rhum conference and competitions. So yeah, sometimes we achieve gold medal, sometimes silver, and sometimes bronze. Then I like to make a quick benchmark. It exists in the market, the great brands, but I want to catch, let's say, the most common or the most well-known brands, trying to find the different, the main differences between these brands and our rooms. For example, plantation, using the 3 stars SKU. So this is a molasses type of rum. So this is more British style. So this is a blended of Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad. So they use column, but the last distillation it's in pot still. So it means heavy rum. So it will give a different organoleptic profile. Then Don Papa and Diplomatico. So they use molasses as a main part of the rums. So it comes from different origins, Philippines and Venezuela. They distill in columns. At the end, they do some pot still. But of course, it will give these heavy rums. And this is blended of different rums or Solera in the Diplomatico. And the agricole type of rooms, we can find Clement, that, well, of course, it uses sugarcane juice, as we do in Relicario. The origin is Martinique, and they use a single column copper steel. So during this production process, they reach 70, 75 alcohol volume. So you will find a high congeners, heavy rooms, as said at the beginning. So a very different organoleptic profile versus Relicario. So then if we leave Dominican Republic and we go to another country quite close, Venezuela, we will find the Caracas Club rum. We will find a 2 SKU nowadays that, well, what we try is to give or be close to the essence of the country. And as we do in Relicario, it's you will find a very exceptional smoothness and well-balanced and easy to drink rums. If we go through the 8 years that it's our base as a Venezuelan rum, this is a blend of 8 and 10 years old. So this is statically aged. That's why we just put 8 years, because this is the minimum by law that you can put into the label. So this is aged, so this is not Solera. So this is statically aged, and we use white oak barrels that previously contained bourbon too. So what you will find here, it's some sweet spices in the organoleptic profile, but at the same time quite easy to drink, quite dry. Then we will go through the tasting note, and this is a very classical molasses Hispanic rum. Then we have the nectar, but we will put the focus in the 8 years. As said, what we try is to bring people to the Venezuela essence through its valleys and through its mountains. And this rum is distilled in Aragua Valley, so it's an estate in the middle of the country, in the Caracas area. It's distilled in the oldest company in the country. You will know Santa Teresa. So they developed with us this recipe. So it's our own brand, it's our own recipe, but distilled in the origin and distilled in Santa Teresa. So here you will see what we tried with Caracas Club is to go away from the classical packaging of Venezuelan rums. You will see great rums like Diplomatico, like Santa Teresa, like Ocumare. These are very good, great brands, but from our point of view, it's very classical packaging. What we tried is to do something different. So we tried to do better, but we tried to have something different in terms of packaging. That's why we developed this. So Caracas 8 years, it's a 40% alcohol volume. So as you will see, it's a very, it has this amber color rum with some red flashes or some red touches. In the aroma, you will find easily this vanilla and nuts, and of course some wood, thanks to this minimum of 8 and 10 years. So, and in terms of flavor, it's quite dry because we don't add sugar into the liquid. And this, I said at the beginning, some sweet spices, some smoky touches. But I said, quite easy to drink. And at the end, it's a very classical Venezuelan rum.
Jordi, as I saw, it was written that this rum was distilled from molasses with spice. Which spice do you use for that?
Sorry?
In the picture before that, it was written that not this one, the one before that, I think. Yeah. So it's distilled from molasses with sweet spice.
Yeah. Yeah. Some you will find some vanilla and some ginger. Lightly, very lightly ginger aromatic profile. So we don't add, so this is not a flavored rum. So this is a rum, but thanks to the barrels, you will find some this, let's say a little bit of ginger and some vanilla touches.
Okay, so you don't use spice with the when you distill the rum?
No,
No. Okay.
no, no, no.
We'll say it's a spice from the cask.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is it possible to know which distillery distill Caracas?
Yeah, I said Santa Teresa.
Santa Teresa. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's our own recipe, but we develop it with their own technicians. But yeah, they have the plant in this area in the Aragua Valley, close to the Caracas city. 1 hour, I think, 1 hour and a half. But yeah.
Cool.
And then if we go through the other, let's say, brothers or sisters into the range, we have the nectar. So this is a flavored rum. So what we do is catch the 8 years and we add some maceration of different botanicals like cocoa, native cocoa, some citrus, some banana, some fig. So this is a very different profile, easy to drink, more for cocktails and not to drink neat, as said. Of course, it can be drink neat, but it's a very completely different organoleptic profile. And then this year we will be launching 2 new SKUs, the Caracas Club Coffee. So we use a maceration of coffee, native coffee from there, and also honey from Venezuela. So yeah, this is the youngest brothers of Caracas 8, so a flavored spirit drink rums. Then if we go to another country in this area, we will find Cuba. Cuba as it's a country that we have a very good relationship because the founder of the company have a very good relationship with the main rum producers. So that's why we were the Mulata and Varadero importers, bottlers and importers in Europe and East Europe. And during the last 20 years, we were the bottling company for them and the export company for these 2 brands. Of course, there is Havana Club, and then the other brands like Mulata. As they say, the Cuban people say that the Mulata, it's the rum from the people from the streets that they drink at home, etc. So yeah, it has a very look, you can feel very Cuban. But at the same time, work with Cuban, it's not sometimes easy. That's why we decided to launch our own brand, call it Doble Nueve. And why Doble Nueve? Doble Nueve, it's a term by Cuban dominos are known. So instead of using 66, that it's everywhere, let's say, in Cuba, they use the 99 as the highest chip. So why? That's why we decided to use this name for this brand. So nowadays, the current range, you will find 4 SKUs, so you will find a Blanco, Añejo, Gran Reserva, but we will put focus in the 15 years. The 15 years, it's a static aging process. And as you will see, well, it has this square shape that remembers to the container of the chips of Doble Nueve Domino. And what you will see, it's a very persistent aroma of booty and some heavy rums profile. In the Cuban rums, they use some heavy rums during the process, so they add after the distillation. It's allowed. So that's why inside the Hispanic rooms, Cuban rooms is quite different from Dominican rooms, etc. So that's why you will find these more strong and woody flavors, thanks to these heavy rooms added during the process. That's true. At the same time, it's quite sweet, not too much, because we don't add sugar in any process. And yeah, as we recommend, being 15 years aged, I recommend. Of course, it's up to the final consumer to drink neat or with some ice, or using in a cocktail with like old fashioned or this type of cocktails. What do you think? Around Doble 15 years.
Even if the aging and the fabrication is similar to the other, it's very different. The profile is very different. More fruity for me, but it's me. Wood is there, but not as present in Caracas.
Yeah, you can find some dry fruits. Of course, the Hispanic rooms, sometimes you find more vanilla and coconut touch, but it's quite light in terms of this dried and vanilla fruits touch. Yeah, but it fills your palate. It's very rounded, and yeah, that's true that it's a 38 alcohol percentage, but it's quite warm into the mouth and to the neck. So, but yeah. Any other comments? If not, we will go through the next.
I'm trying hard to fill the blanks, but anybody else, don't it? You can go.
Do you add sugar in this one?
No. It's allowed, but no, not in our case.
Okay.
Comparing, for example, for Palma Mulata or Havana, that it's the most Cuban, well-known brand, they add something because, well, in Cuba, the room masters knows each other, so it's easy to find and know some info. They add some sugars, but not in our case, because we try to give some differences between rums. And this rum, it's distilled in the center of the island, in the Cienfuegos. I don't know if you are familiar with the area, but they have some factories in the center of the island. Well, we have the partnership with Tecno Azúcar. Tecno Azúcar, it's the main sugarcane brand and company in the island. So yeah.
I gotta say that I'm quite impressed that you still keep the signature from Cuban rum without adding sugar, because you still have this sweetness, this fruitiness that is very present in Cuban rum. I love it for that. There's this signature that we like.
Good.
Then, if you don't have any comments, so we will go through the other rooms. Then we go to the other side of the map. We go to Asia, to Indonesia. And I'm glad to present Marama. Marama, it's a spiced rum. So what we do is to use an Indonesian rum, and we add some spices, some maceration into the liquid. So it becomes a spirit drink with a rum base in terms of low. And what we try is to launch something different. That's true that there is a trend in the spiced rums, and it exists a lot of brands. But what we tried is to use an Asian rum from a country that it's not very common to have some rums, and allow to discover something unique, unique origin, and a special terroir. So I'm glad to present the Marama. So I said it's a spiced rum from Indonesia, and why Marama? Marama, it's in their language is a mermaid. So what we try is to link the Circum-Pacific belt. So this is an area with a very with a high concentration of subduction zones, with a lot of volcanoes. So in this area, you can find different profiles. So Indonesia, it's one of the main sugarcane producers also. And thanks to the climate and the volcanic soil, gives something different to the sugarcane juice and then molasses. So giving this exotic origin and terroir, you will find a very easy aroma profiles like ginger. So they call it galanga. So this is a galanga root. So this is a blue ginger, very common from Indonesia in this area, and some vanilla touch. So in terms of organoleptic profile, you will see that it's quite amber. We have to take into account that this is a blended between 3 and 5 years. But yeah, being in a spice room, and thanks to this aging, it gives this dark amber color to the liquid. In terms of aroma, easy to find this intense aroma of spices and mainly ginger, but sometimes the ginger gives this spicy and hot touch. But in this case, what we tried is to find this well balanced, and you will find also some sweet notes of some dried fruits or some plums, for example. And thanks to the barrels, also you will be able to find some vanilla nuances. In terms of flavor, as I said, some spices, not too much, so slightly sweet and smooth. And yeah, when the sensation of swallowing, you will find this spicy final touch. What do you think? Do you find this ginger? Mainly into the nose, of course. Yeah, but then the sensation of swallowing, it's quite spicy, it's light, not too much. Any comments? If not, we will go through the last room, and we will go to this picture because it catches the best of each. So we catch the best from the Dominican Republic, and we catch the best from Spain, and you will know why. Because let me introduce Suau. Suau is a cellar that it was founded in 1851. It's located in Mallorca, as you will probably know. Mallorca, it's an island in the Mediterranean Sea. It's quite famous thanks to the exceptional contrast and areas. So you will find mountains, also sea. It's quite famous because a lot of famous people have a house there, but it's a very nice island. And Bodega Suau, it's a centenarian cellar, mainly known thanks to its brandy, but in the past they had some other products, and one of its historical products, it was Jungla, Ron Jungla. It's a very nice place to visit. If you have the chance to visit Spain or Mallorca, I really recommend to visit this place because from outside you smell the history, and it's a very, very nice cellar to visit. So here some historical labels that the owners catch the idea to relaunch the rum after 50, 60 years. So you will see some designs you will see into the packaging. So here, Jungla rum. So the tagline, we say 2 seas, 2 Iceland, 2 barrels, because this is a double aging. So we catch the 10 years static rums from Dominican Republic, and then we do a second aging during 1 year in a brandy Suau 15 years barrels, so in Mallorca. So this final stage will give something unique to this rum. And yeah, one of the main differences from other rums is also that we use the same liquid that the base liquid that we use for Relicario, because it's where we have our cellar in Dominican Republic. But then we do this final aging stage in Mallorca, using a set brandy Suau 15 years barrels. So in terms of tasting note, comparing to the Relicario, you will find that it has more body and character thanks to the aged brandy barrels, but at the same time it keeps the good balance and some acidity into the palate. In terms of color, the same, they have a dark amber color, and in terms of aroma, some dried grapes and plums, and it's quite easy to find these hints of a brandy bouquet. So you will find some grapes profile, also some vanilla thanks to the barrels, but easy to find this brandy bouquet and some sweetness at the end of the liquid. This is a 10+1 static aging also. So we can say that it's quite a special edition or a limited production, because this is a centenarian cellar, and of course they use their own brandy barrels, and they use these barrels for a solera system. It's very common in the brandy industry. So we catch some barrels to produce Jungla. So we are producing around 10,000 bottles per year, more or less, for all the world. So yeah. What do you think concerning the Jungla rum?
Any help? Sorry, any help? Because I don't have this one. There was some glitch in the packaging, so I will need help from the.
Sorry, Jordi, you have said that it was the you've talked about the Relicario. It's the same base rum.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I said that with Relicario. Relicario, it's a blended between 15 and 10 years for the Superior, 10 and 15 for the Supremo. So what we use for the Jungla is just the 10 years rum. So just to give a clear idea, because maybe I didn't explain me well. But yeah, this is a 10 years. This is part of Relicario, but not the Relicario rum base.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's very good. It's very good. I like this rum with this little part of brandy. It brings something different, and maybe it's no sugar added either. So no, it's very good. The little bit of
Nice.
brandy brings something here. It's very good.
And concerning all the SKUs or that you tasted, what is your ranking or your number 1 or 2, just for internal feedback?
On my side, I really enjoy the Marama because the notes of ginger, of spice are very, surprising. I think that's the first time I tasted a product like that. And I also really like the peated, for sure. But the Marama is a very nice surprise, I would say.
Thanks, Manfred.
Also, my number 1 here. I do like the brandy and the peated, but to be honest, the Marama was just like a big surprise. Well, an astonishment. And like I said to Manfred on the side, I do like Galangal, so it was just perfect match for me. Peated afterwards, not sure for the rest. But just a note about the brand, well, the Rum Jungla. Even though there's only 1 year of aging in brandy barrels, its flavor is almost uniquely brandy-like. So it's kind of like Pierre said, the dried grapes, this fruitiness is very present.
So someone in the chat, Maxim, is asking, someone have tasted before other rums from Indonesia. That's true that it doesn't exist a lot, but you can find 2 or 3 brands. One it's Nusa Kanya, another one it's by the Dutch, that they have, I think, the Batavia Rack rum, but it's not very common, I said. That's why we try to find a place that it's not common, because of course, develop a rum from, I don't know, Venezuela can be easier, let's say, no? But Indonesia, trying to find something different from the map, or Philippines, no? It exists great brands also from Philippines, but what we tried is this to find something different, an exotic origin, and this gives this native touch that Indonesia produces a lot of ginger.
It's a bit funny that we have so few rum from Indonesia, since it's the birthplace of the sugar cane, but I guess the rum evolved after with the sugar industry. So there is kind of logic. It's funny.
From my point of view, if I have to do a ranking inside these rooms, I will not say that what is the last one. I will say who is the number 1 and number 2. for me, the Relicario, because for me it's easy to drink, very smooth. You can eat neat also, but at the same time you can drink in a cocktail. And then the other one is the Marama, I said, Marama spicy rum, because ginger, it's something that the people relates to maybe food, or now it's the Japanese food. It's common, and they put some ginger, etc. But try to find something in a drink, in a room drink, and being smooth and easy to drink, because sometimes the ginger it's quite heavy, but give this slightly touch. But yeah, well, but the rest of the rooms, of course, I have to say that it's they are great brands, but if I have to put a ranking, yeah, all of these brands have different profiles between them, so that's what we try it to have different things, different profiles, and we try it to be as much as we can innovative. That's why we worked hard with the pitted finish, with the vermouth, and something new that we are working in this moment, because yeah, you can find a lot of finishes in other categories too. Scotch whiskey, finish it in something, but yeah, that's something that we try it to have different and unique profiles, and yeah, allow to reach and arrive to the people with different SKUs.
Maybe one question: are you considering to do some of your rum in higher proof? I understand that lighter ones are not probably the best choices, but some with a bit more substance can be interesting in higher proof. I know it's a marketing nightmare, but
no, that's a good question, because I had the same question from France. Of course, you are the country and the province of agricole rums, and you like this type of rums, and that's something that we discussed internally. But then our thoughts are, if we go through overproof or high alcohol percentage, we will go away from the Relicario essence. Of course, we can develop a rum because it's aged in a high alcohol percentage. But when you think in Hispanic, when we explain how we reach or how we reach the Relicario or different SKUs, if we launch, this is our current thoughts. Maybe in 2 years we decided to launch something new, but we will go away from the essence of Relicario or the production process. So that's why we try to find different things like finishes or different coupage or something like that instead of overproof. But as I said, we had a lot of requirements, especially from our French importer. We discussed it also some months ago with Manfred. Why? Because we welcome all the feedbacks, because as I said, it helped us to improve and be following the trends, not only visiting the stores and discussing, but also talking with room experts like you that or room lovers, that they are allowed to share their experience and their knowledge. But yeah, this is our current thoughts. Maybe in 1, 2, 3 years we decided to work on that way. But yeah, that's something that we discussed and internally.
Thanks. If there is no other question or comments, usually we finish the tasting with a small poll to ask people if they prefer, which rum they prefer. So maybe we can proceed, but we will do that in French, but I guess you will be able to follow. It's fine for you?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Alors, est-ce qu'on peut faire un petit vote à main levée pour savoir ceux qui ont préféré le Relicario Supremo? Pas beaucoup de mains qui se lèvent, soit qui n'ont pas trouvé l'endroit pour lever la main ou que ce n'est pas le préféré de personne. Le Peated Finish. Pas beaucoup d'amateurs de Peated Finish non plus, et moi. Le suivant, c'est le Caracas. Je peux le dire là, si ça ne marche pas avec la main. Là. Où tout le monde se regarde pour le Jungla. Le Doble 9. Le Marama. Ah. Manfred, qui est un amateur de Galaga. Et le Jungla. So people are a bit shy, but we are a couple who like the Peter, some the Jungla, few of Caracas, and Manfred the Marama, which is not to say that people don't like the others, but that's the preferred one. So, merci à tout le monde. On the finishing notes, maybe I want to thank you, Jordi. We like people who share what's in the bottle, and you told us much. The sugar content and everything is often secrets, but you were very open with that, and we appreciate it. If there is sugar, it's okay, but we like to know it. And from my personal point of view, it's very refreshing to have a typical Spanish type rum, but with less sugar. It's very refreshing for me, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's our way of working. Of course, all the room brands can do whatever they want, of course, following the laws or the room regulations. But yeah, we want, and we like to be transparent, because that's, as you said, the room industry. Sometimes it's yeah, there are a lot of yeah, there is a big hole, and you have to discover, and not all the brands explain what there is inside. And I'm pretty sure that the room regulations will be, yeah, will increase during the next years, because the customer wants to know what is inside and what they are drinking. And I think that it's necessary. And as I said, there are a lot of people, a lot of different palates. So, and there is a space, there are a space for other brands. So of course, we want to sell as much as we can our brands, but as far as we follow the laws and the rules, yeah, we can complement other brands, and of course, that's what we try to do. Be transparent, explain what we have, what we do, and yeah, have the opportunity, like today, to explain to room lovers, to room experts, what we have, what we do, and yeah, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Jordi, for all your explanation. That was very instructive and very precise. Very, very, thank you. Big thank you for you.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yep.
So, donc, tout le monde, je vous remercie beaucoup de votre présence. Si vous voulez surveiller la page Facebook, bientôt, on va annoncer les prochaines dégustations. Je sais que j'ai dit ça la dernière fois, mais là c'est vrai, on va bientôt les annoncer. Donc, on a des belles dégustations à venir. On va peut-être, là, à moins que la 6e bière vienne changer nos plans, on va peut-être revenir avec des dégustations en personne en avril. On travaille là-dessus pour une dégustation à Saguenay et une dégustation à Québec. Si jamais il y a de la demande ailleurs, on va voir. On va continuer aussi à travailler le mode virtuel encore avec des invités, comme je vous avais dit. Donc, on travaille sur différentes cartes, mais probablement qu'en avril, on va revenir avec une carte un petit peu à la découverte du rhum 101, si on veut. Je pense que ça peut être intéressant quand même pour tout le monde. Là, des fois, les gens ont tendance à penser que c'est plus rhum pour débutants, là, mais ce n'est pas le cas. Des fois, ça peut être intéressant quand même. On va avoir peut-être des petites affaires intéressantes là-dedans, des choses que vous ne connaissez pas. Des fois, c'est des choses que vous connaissez, mais des fois, il y a des informations qui peuvent être intéressantes, puisqu'on va essayer de voir tous les styles de rhum avec la carte de dégustation. Donc, je vais parler un petit peu plus au niveau de la production, comment que le rhum est produit un petit peu. Fait que des fois, un petit retour aux sources, des fois, ça fait bien. Puis sinon, on a d'autres dégustations avec plein de bouteilles encore exclusives qui s'en viennent aussi. On va pouvoir vous annoncer ça éventuellement. Et Manfred, je pense que tu voulais parler qu'il y a certains de ces rhums-là qui sont disponibles en importation privée, si je me trompe.
Oui, effectivement. Quasiment tout ce qui est, laisse-moi juste vérifier, le Marama, le Jungla, tout ça, ça peut être disponible en privé. Le Supremo et le Petit, ça sont à la SAQ et le Caracas aussi. Mais s'il y en a certains d'entre vous qui sont intéressés, comme lors des dernières dégustations, juste envoyer un message à Max et puis Max, il va me relayer les informations et on pourra s'organiser pour faire une petite commande groupée pour apporter un peu de nouveauté si vous avez apprécié certaines des références que vous avez dégustées ce soir.
Peut-être souligner les prix aussi des produits. Hein, c'est quand même assez impressionnant. La qualité pour le prix, là, c'est quand même c'est à souligner. Là, je pense que.
Oui, je suis d'accord.
Ouais.
Ça pourrait être plus cher.
Pour votre information, s'il y en a qui n'ont pas vu l'information passer sur Facebook, ceux qui avaient déjà acheté le billet pour la dégustation avec Joshua Singh des rhums SBS, entre autres. Donc, cette dégustation-là, elle a dû être déplacée. Donc, Joshua n'était pas disponible finalement pour le 3 avril comme prévu. Donc, la dégustation va avoir lieu finalement le 12 juin. Donc, ceux qui avaient déjà acheté vos billets sont encore valides. Les autres, si vous êtes intéressés, c'est une dégustation qu'on avait fait l'an dernier qui avait été super intéressante. Donc, là, cette année, il va y avoir d'autres trucs, des nouveautés que Joshua va venir nous présenter. Donc, ça devrait être très intéressant. Ça va être le 12 juin en virtuel. Donc, voilà pour voir. Donc, si personne n'a aucune autre question, je lève mon verre sur cette dégustation. Merci à tous d'avoir été présents.
Merci encore. Merci tout le monde.
Merci tout le monde.
Merci à tous. Merci Bruno. Merci Théo. Merci
Jordi.
Merci de ton temps.
Je penserai arrêter l'enregistrement, Max.